Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me for this very special edition of AEW Double or Nothing preview show. And we have apparently 13 matches that are completed and finalized. And tomorrow, in the, I guess, early evening for some of you on the East Coast, and for that being where it's taking place, that's going to be very important. Going all the way probably till 5 hours of straight pay-per-view wrestling. And it's going to be pretty exciting. So, without that further ado, let's get this preview show on the road. On this. All right. So, we're going to start with the buy-in portion of it. And yes, as it's announced, Renee Paquette is being joined by Mick Foley. And as y'all might know, Mick Foley having some history with the man that is married to Renee Paquette. That is the person that got him into WWE and was going to actually, in a sense, pull him from FCW, his developmental territory days from, or developmental days in WWE, what it was called, was going to pull him up and make him debut against Mick Foley on the main roster, and that never happened. But I think this is a pretty interesting dynamic between Renee and Mick Foley. Both of them definitely work together a lot. When Mick was the general manager under Stephanie McMahon, when they split the rosters between her and um, Shane, and then Shane had SmackDown and Mick and Renee. Well, then I guess now that I think about it now, Renee was then mostly on SmackDown. Yeah. That's interesting. So this is going to be, a lot of history of these two have between them and not really a lot together, but it's definitely a lot of chemistry that they can unlock, and we'll see how it takes place tomorrow when they have three matches that are going to go on their buy-in portion. And first one is going to be ah another yes. I thought we were going to get, my prediction was the Divine Dominion versus the Brawling Birds, Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor. But no, we are going to do another 5 minute championship challenge. It's championship eliminator match, I guess. It really, to me, I keep stumbling on the words I want to say over this match because I'm just disappointed because uh, um, I thought that the Divine Dominion, I thought Megan Bayne and Cross were just on another level, like for tag team wrestling, like going forward after they defeated, Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron, who were pretty good inaugural champions. But now we go from that to a buy-in portion of the show, which I guess is where they competed last on the show, which is where Divine Dominion became champions. And I thought, all right, they're gonna take those championships and elevate them to the main portion of the pay-per-view, but no. And in fact, it's a lesser downgrade. I mean, Zeta Steel and Vita Van are they're better opponents compared to the rest of the ones they faced lately that have been the last challengers in this 5 minute tag team challenge. But I think this will probably get the last one was in between 2 and 3 minutes, right? This will be right in between 4 and 5. And then is when I predict, like I'm saying, Divine Dominion is going to win this match, as we know. And then it's going to lead to a 5 minute cross for Anna Jay and Ty Mello, which I thought they could have worked faster into the build up into this pay-per-view, but I guess not. Or maybe they might do something at uh, Forbidden Door if that's another month away from this pay-per-view, but I do still think that they're going to obviously build towards that Anna Jay Ty Mello match eventually, but we'll see. And next match we're going to have is a 10-man tag team match between a man that I thought put his life and body on the line last Wednesday and had a pay-per-view match. And no, he's going to be on the buy-in portion tonight for this match as well. And he's joining the other men who lost last Wednesday in the Collision main event for the tag team championships, Roderick Strong and Orange Cassidy. And then you have the two men known as Doom and Boom, or Boom and Doom. It's hilarious. The smiling, very extra smiling QT Marshall and Big Boom AJ is going to be taking on all five members of the Shane Taylor Promotions and Lee Moriarty, Carly, and Sean Dean, Shane Taylor, and then who was the last man that's going to be in there? That's AR Fox. I think it is AR Fox. Yeah. Well, we'll see how this. I think this is going to be another showcasing for Big Boom AJ for him being on the buy-in, just like him and QT were last time. It was a great match. And Mark Briscoe being on there as well means this team's probably winning. AJ Sons being in there as well. This is no way these 5 men are losing to the Shane Taylor promotions. These are Ring of Honor, guys. These are the trios champions for Ring of Honor, the Ring of Honor pure champion and Lee Moriarty. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I think almost every one of the men in this group have championship belts on them. And then you have two-thirds of the um, AEW Trios Championships on the other side, and Mark Briscoe, a former TNT championship himself. QT Marshall hasn't won anything though, but this match could, if this match leads to something of a championship match with AJ Boom and someone else, like maybe the national championship, that would be hilarious. But no, we're just gonna get a nice win for the good guys this 10-man tag match, and then last match we have before we go to the main card portion. Ah, okay. I did not know this match was put together, but it makes complete sense with the rivalry between the seemingly new addition of the Death Riders in Will Ospreay, not the aerial assassin, the assassin. So his assassin mates, yes, I said mates, will be taking on the other members of Samoa Joe's uh, faction, Hook, Shibata, and the newly addition member Anthony Bowens, taking on Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and Daniel Garcia. I guess Pac is. I was wondering about this. Like, I guess he's the one that's getting left off the pay-per-view if you want to think about it, but that's just the way it is. There's not 4 or 5 men total in the ops other than these 4 men that we know, including Samoa Joe. So when we know what's the other match laying on this card. So, I mean, it does suck for Pac that he's not going to be one. So, and Marina Shafir isn't either, but we know she's probably going to be in the corner of these 3 men, so she'll be utilized. Will he be as well? I think so, now that I say it out loud. With that being said, I'm going with the Death Riders winning this match, leading to momentum for their new addition, Will Ospreay getting the win, as I predict over Samoa Joe. Okay, I already blew that. Okay, this is where I assume is going to be the opening contest of the pay-per-view portion of the evening. Kazuchika Okada defending the international championship against a former international champion himself in Konosuke Takeshita. And I think Takeshita, when he reminded all of us that he has to get the international championship back, it is funny that last year he was the champion, give or take, 13, 14 months ago, and he lost the title to Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega lost it to the Continental Champion in the unified match at last year's All in Texas to Okada. And knowing that does kind of make it a little interesting that the 2 champions ago it was Tenosuke Takeshita, in fact, and the man that he defeated to win that championship was Will Ospreay. And that to me is a dream match in AEW that we haven't seen. We've seen it once, but it was again like the same thing with this match. Kind of impromptu and didn't have the build to it like it should have because it was put together because of the Continental Classic. And this time we're going to see an Okada Takeshita full. This match has been brewing and building for months and months, but the build to this match specifically has been weeks and like a month combined to get to this, and not just a few days after we get the bracket finalized between the 4 men who advanced to the semifinals of the Continental Tournament. So that is a huge bonus for this match. And whenever we will get Okada and Ospreay again, I say that is going to be soon. And because I think it's going to be soon, I think Okada is winning this match. I think he's winning it. I don't think Takeshita is winning the belt back. That's going to be a tough prediction to call, but that's not what I want to say. That's what I believe. Now, we go to the next match. If this has to follow that, though, it's going to be pretty, you know, it's going to be, in my opinion, difficult for the crowd to literally go from that first match to this match. But if anybody can do it, it's the modern day, um, you know, what was the 2 tabbies of Arn Anderson and uh Tully Blanchard, the Brain Busters, right? The modern day Brain Busters, if you ask me, in my opinion, FTR against the team that could have literally wrestled the Brain Busters if they were around at the same time in the same company. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. now almost literally their exact names. Jay and Adam is what their first names are. These guys have been best friends since the sixth grade, and they are literally in their 50s about this point. 3 decades of wrestling in front of us, and it is on the line in this I Quit match. I think we're going to have ourselves new AEW tag team champions. And I wonder, is this, well, FTR, if you want to be specifically, is the first ever AEW tag team champions that were also WWE tag team champions. And then to be the team to defeat the first, and then you're the second is pretty cool with this I Quit match stipulation and the tag team formulation on the line. Very apropos, but I see Cajun Cope getting the win by. Hmm. I think, yeah, kind of by like with using the steel chair like leg and using it to cross face across. Yeah, I would love it to be dad. I would love it to be Adam Copeland making Cash Wheeler do it because of the history they have together. And that's what I say and new. So now we go from that to this would be crazy if it's the stadium stampede that has to follow this, but it would probably be like 40 minutes, like give or take, for this match to really go on. And then we're already like an hour and a half in, and we're like of the main card portion, and we're already only 3 matches in. That would be freaking crazy, but we're gonna get a lot of spots of this. I have not enough imagination to call everything I see coming that they're going to put together in this match. I think us as fans just want to see what kind of chaos. It's like the first one. I never thought I would see Urban Meyer throwing footballs at Chris Jericho, and literally with the pandemic stimulation, it's like, well, I guess they're all, as they said, uh, COVID negative, and we're cleared to wrestle throughout the entire stadium of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This will be entire, I guess, arena, but we're still going to call it a stadium. Unless, are they going to? No, they're not going to go from the like down the road to the John to the MetLife Stadium. No, that would be insane. But it would definitely make the owners of MetLife owe Shad Khan a big favor if that's the case. Be like, all right, you got to trade us Trevor Lawrence if Jackson Dart does not work out. Just a theory. But this match. I would love to see, and that's the thing. I've been very disappointed because I haven't seen Kenny Omega on TV for weeks now. Like Jack Perry's been stepping up a lot. The formulation of Chris Jericho with the Young Bucks and with the Hurt Syndicates, like him being all babyface in his return back since he, was teasing his, potential return to WWE back in the Royal Rumble, rumors, all that stuff. Now he's been fully, babyface Jericho in this latest phase of his AEW career. And eventually we all know it's going to lead to a betrayal. I wonder if it's tonight. I wonder if it's tonight that he's like, you know what? Screw all you baby faces. I hate every single one of you. I'm joining the no, I don't know. I'm joining I knowing Chris Jericho, that's just the thing that like makes it like only him can make me believe that that's possible. But with that being said, I think the bad guys are winning. I think someone on there is going to get the over for it. Maybe Andrade. He could really use it a lot if he's going to keep going forward with his world championship aspirations. And again, we it's complicated, but I mean, we're gonna have to have some like legitimate challengers for the winner of the All In pay-per-view in a couple of months from now. And most of us think it's gonna be Will Ospreay. And when it is, I would love to see a just clinical 40-minute championship match between Andrade and Will Ospreay. And that, in my opinion, will start tomorrow when he gets the win over Perry or Omega. Yeah. The absence of Omega, maybe Jericho. Again, I think those three is one of my predictions. Calling it right here. Next match for the AEW Women's World Championship. And now this is going to be even more of a disappointment. Even though this doesn't have anything to do with it, I'm just going to throw it out there that the injury to Willow Nightingale, does it impact this match? Maybe. It would if it to me meant that it would be a heel that wins the Owen, and then it wouldn't be a, you know, babyface heel babyface on the other side when it's champion. This are we gonna get a Tekla versus Mina all in match? I mean, Jamie Hayter has the opportunity here to get the win and be the champion heading into All In. That is, we have to keep that into account. I think it's going to kind of cut each other off of the things we've been seeing lately with Chris and Sheeta, how they just blew up on each other last Wednesday. And then it's going to be left alone between Tekla and Hayter. And hmm, that is interesting. Very interesting. What direction do we go in now with the championship? Because I thought with the match that Willow Nightingale was supposed to have on this card with Alex Winter in the quarterfinals for the Owen, that match is now with a wild card. I thought if that match stayed on this card, it meant, oh, we're going to get Mercedes Moné's return, but it's not going to be on this card. We get another quarterfinal match replacing it instead. I'll go to that later. And I don't know. Like, this is the kind of match that I have no idea who's going to win. I legitimately have no idea. Tekla did win a cheap win over Thunder Rosa. It's like she didn't even beat anyone involved in this match, mainly because only one person that was involved in this match was Jamie Hayter, and she was involved outside, I think, with Sky Blue, with Alex Winter doing a double team move, but didn't have enough time to go in the ring and save Thunder Rosa. But still. I am trying to think. This match has a lot on riding on the line with the Willow Nightingale injury. It's just I thought it would be her probably challenging Tekla. Do I think the winner, who I believe now is, I'll get to that later, still going to challenge Tekla? Sure. I'm just gonna go with the safe bet here. Like, don't hate me if I just say like, oh, whatever. Just I'm going with Tekla winning by a cheap, dirty trick. Just having the triangle of madness in her corner, just having other they're not doing anything else on the card, so in my opinion, that's just how I see it. And now we get to one of the quarterfinals that's already been like from the start announced to be on this pay-per-view card, and it's going to be one of the best matches in the tournament, in my opinion. Probably, yeah, I would say this match and then Will Ospreay's finals match will definitely be the two best matches of the tournament. Because I believe his next match will be against Mark Davis, and then this match is going to be the huge test to set him up for that. But he's going to get definitely like beat up. Samoa Joe is going to majority of this match beat up Will Ospreay for the duration, and then at the end, find a way to pull it out, win in the end. AJ Styles type of similar thing where we will see a Styles clash. I definitely predict that, and then we will see another hidden blade, and we'll see will we see Samoa Joe tap out to the new assassin from the Death Riders? No, Hidden Blade. Will Ospreay, Hidden Blade, and moving on to the semifinals. And now we go to Swerve Strickland versus Bandito in the other advertised men's quarterfinal Owen Hart tournament match. And that's, to me, this is going to be who will face Will Ospreay in the other end of the Owen Hart tournament final. The writing is right there on the wall. It was 2 years ago when Swerve Strickland was the AEW World's Champion. He defended it, one of his, synonymous championship defenses when he wins it at Dynasty against Samoa Joe. Keep that in mind. Defended against Christian Cage at Double or Nothing. I know, I know. And then at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view before his All-In title defense, he would defend it against Will Ospreay. And then the finals of this tournament is going to be in Forbidden Door, and that's going to be another rematch of Swerve Strickland, Will Ospreay. And who knows if because Swerve Strickland won the first one, I predict Will Ospreay will win the second one. It could just be a trilogy, just like Forbidden Door and WrestleMania thing with Rock and Austin. Kind of seems a far stretch, I know, but the way these two men perform in that ring, like they did 2 years ago, be prepared. And I know Bandito's the Ring of Honor champion, but Swerve Strickland is on that level, and he's going to go to the finals, and it's going to be. I had a theory about this, and I'll say this before I go to the other matches, and we're almost done with this preview show. I think there is a theory that Darby Allin, yeah, I can't say it now. I say it out loud. Okay, I'll wait till I get to the final match. Okay. Here's the last match that's going to be on the pay-per-view for the Owen Hart tournament, and it's the only one from the women's side, and it's going to be Mina Shirakawa versus the Ring of Honor World Champion for 1,200 and is it 70? Ow. let's just say 70 because she's not defending anytime soon. Like that is insane. Athena versus Mina, and this match has been contested for the Ring of Honor Championship, in which Athena won. But I do think because of the Willow Nightingale injury, it's Mina's time. It is going to be because of the absences of some of the injuries. She's going to go advance to the finals of the tournament. Until I know who that wild card is, I think it's Mina's tournament to win. That's just my opinion. With the Tony Storm absence, with the Mercedes Moné, until we see her absence, with now the Willow Nightingale absence, don't even get me started. Okay, so with that being said, I think Mina's going to win and advance, and Athena. Mm, this might add some tension for Mina versus Athena for a rematch for Ring of Honor title eventually, but not until she advances to the finals. Now we go to the co-main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly for the AEW Continental Championship. And this is going to be the time that Jon Moxley does not tap out um to the ankle lock, to Kyle O'Reilly's best move, to Jon Moxley's kryptonite. I just think they built this match so well, and I know he has a lot riding on the line, especially with the Death Riders having Will Ospreay join them and having him have this championship. To me, has added respect on top of all of his lessons because he doesn't need the boys to help him win his matches like he did during his World Championship run. That is what is earning everyone's respect. It's like, John, why do you need, like, you're already one of the dirtiest wrestlers in the ring. You're the grimiest, grippiest. Like, you scratch, you claw, you do everything to make your opponent earn every bit that he does. But yet you still made your Death Riders help you every time, like against Adam Copeland, Will Ospreay, Samoa Joe, and then it finally happened at All In against Adam Page. And this match is definitely the falling out of that all-in main event that you lost. And on top of losing to Darby Allin in the I Quit match, you then lost back-to-back times to Kyle O'Reilly. But to me, I think that was all by design. You had that run, you had that decline, you had this moment to give Kyle O'Reilly back in his time last year, and then he gets hurt, he goes away, and he comes back right back where he belongs in this co-main event, double or nothing pay-per-view um, position to have a chance to challenge the ace of AEW, Jon Moxley, for his Continental Championship. He's not going to win though. It's just going to be Jon Moxley. When he shows up, he doesn't miss. I remember the second, or he made his debut during the first. We all remember in 19. The second, rest in peace, Brody Lee. He definitely tore the house down during his newly AEW World Championship run. He won from Chris Jericho and then would go on to win three more championships and has the record as it stands. No matter who wins or loses the main event, Jon Moxley holds the record for the most AEW World Championships. Probably, I wonder if he has the most double or nothing wins. That's an interesting stat. And if he wins this, it's just going to add on top of it. With that being said, I'm going Jon Moxley by Bulldog choke submission. The main event, ladies and gentlemen, the main event. It to me comes all down to this, and it's going to definitely be huh, interesting that Adam Page, this whole time since he lost his Texas death match back at AEW Revolution, that MJF and Darby Allin, since he lost the title to him after his back, like he had another big time main event championship defense against Kenny Omega, and then after that had to defend it right away against Darby Allin. But all that time, we haven't seen Hangman Adam Page once, have we? To me, that's the wild card in this. If this comes down just to a technical wrestling match in the middle ring between two men who are day one AEW stars, one man in the prime of his current and only AEW World Championship reign, the other who's won the belt twice now. And to me, he has done a lot of things, but the one thing he hasn't done is been in this position where he is the man that is like he's the one that the crowd hate. Like there are, to me, more people in the crowd that definitely want Darby Allin to win than want MJF to. Sometimes, like if you remember back when he won his second championship in that fatal four-way match against Samoa Joe, Hangman Page, Swerve Strickland, MJ, who did the crowd want to win? They wanted MJF to win, and what happened? He won. We got the finish that we wanted. The last couple minutes, like, did we really want Brody King to beat him? No. Brodito or Bandito at Maximum Carnage? No. The Hangman Adam Page match? Now that's an interesting one. I honestly don't know. I mean, we saw what we saw, and now that's going to lead into what we see here. Will Hangman make his appearance felt during this match? And if he does, who will he help? Will he cost Darby Allin his one and only championship reign and start a rivalry with him that we've never seen before? Talk about two other guys, like even though, yeah, they are those three are the definition of day one, never left. Even though MJF teased, it's like, come on. He never really was going to be serious about going to WWE. Those are the most, I think if you think about it, like which three, and then you got to put John Moxley, it's like they probably have the four most AEW matches, like of the top four wrestlers. Is he even going to be felt in this? That to me is still the question because maybe he's just spending more time with his family. We know how serious he takes his family life. Whenever he don't see him, that means it's a reason. He doesn't mess around with that, and I respect that completely. To me, what am I betting on? Well, first thing, I think Darby Allin is going to win this match because I have a theory about what's later on to be the finale of the Owen Hart tournament, which I will now reveal when I couldn't say it during the Bandito Swerve thing. At some point, now that we are getting so used to this um, AEW World Championship main event every single Wednesday on Dynamite routine that Darby Allin has done so amazingly over the last 5 weeks, defeating MJF, beating Ciampa, then beating Brody King, then beating Kevin the Jet Knight, then beating Keshta, and then this past 3 days ago, beating Speedball Mike Bailey. That's literally six straight dynamites in a 5 week span that he just wrestled in change matches. Not to mention in between uh Fairway to Hell. I was going to say Collision, but that's not what it was called. Fairway to Hell defense against Pac and a defense on Collision against Sammy Guevara, who again has some history with Darby Allin. And going from that, we already know that last Wednesday we saw the challenge thrown out by this man. It's going to be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and it's going to be Roosh, who has, I said this before, history with MJF and Darby Allin. But I just think it's going to make more sense that it's on this routine. Like, really, MJF is going to win this match, keep his hair, and then defend the belt against Roosh. No, I think we're going to get the moment he gets his head shaved. That's going to suck, but that's going to be hilarious. All good. You can just go back to Turkey, like Kevin said. You can afford it. Like, it's all good. Like, we saw Wheeler Yuta tease this, and it's like his hair has grown back fully, like completely now, and looks better in his full hair growth. I'm jealous. Keeping this hat on. MJF is going to give us a moment that we're all going to enjoy, just like Vince McMahon did when he got his head shaved by the President of the United States. Just remind you all of that. Just a reminder. After that, we'll get the match with Darby Allin and Roosh. But again, going back to my theory I have with the Owen Hart tournament finals, I think, like I've predicted, it's going to be Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland. Will Ospreay is going to win. And then Will Ospreay is going to build a match with Darby Allin, right? But we're going to get the ultimate like turn, like last year when we had at the main event of this pay-per-view. That's why I'm holding this match here when it was between Adam Page and Will Ospreay for the finals of the Owen Hart tournament. We had the ultimate moment of respect when Will Ospreay lost to Adam Page. He shook his hand, and we're gonna almost get that next month at the end of Forbidden Door. But Will Ospreay is going to annihilate, or sorry, Swerve Strickland is going to annihilate Will Ospreay after they have a embrace of like good sportsmanship. And then after that, Swerve's gonna wrestle Darby Allin on a Dynamite before All In, and Swerve Strickland is going to beat Darby Allin. That is my prediction. I think we are going to get a back-to-back series with Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay for the AEW World Championship at the All In pay-per-view in Wembley Stadium. That is my prediction. To me, would it be a better match if it is still Darby Allin versus Will Ospreay? Yeah. Could also be a better match if it's MJF versus Will Ospreay with his head still there. Not saying that. Like any of a combination between those four men, one on one or three or a triple threat or a four-way, I will not be disappointed in. Any four of those men, if you ask me, deserve to be in the world championship picture. So does Hangman Adam Page. I would throw him in there, but we all know he cannot challenge for it. So if that's how I look at it, and then Okada still has a chance to put his name out there. I think we might get the he might be next. He might be like the one that we have that makes the challenge after Roosh this Wednesday. Like he'll have a match on, or he'll be backstage after. I predict he defeats Takeshita this tomorrow night, and then this Wednesday in backstage of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Okada will make his return back on Dynamite because I don't believe that we have not seen him there since not the last one, not the one before that, but the one before that. So about 17 days ago, or three Dynamites ago, was the last time we saw him appear on a Wednesday night live. And if he does hopefully do that in Philadelphia this Wednesday, I predict he's going to be the one to challenge the winner of Roosh and Darby Allin, Darby Allin on the next Wednesday Dynamite for the AEW World Championship. And then, yeah, after that, I guess it's like, yep, you already had your opportunity. So any of those four men, and yes, if I could have a Hangman, like I said, again, MJF, Darby Allin, Swerve Strickland, and Will Ospreay. What makes sense to me? To me, I think it would be a Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland, like two men who have already built the relationship of being closer than brothers. I don't know if their relationship is that close. Maybe they're making it more out to me. Maybe it really is. I don't know. Because it has made it out to be that way on TV, it's the perfect storyline for me. For Will Ospreay to have his moment, his first moment against a man who had now won the title two times if he beats Darby Allin. And then we get Darby Allin to face Will Ospreay after All In at Wrestle Dream or at Full Gear, something of that nature. But when that happens, I'm going to look like a genius. And that, my opinion, is the wrap up of my AEW Double or Nothing preview show and a little bit of my Forbidden Door preview. And then until tomorrow, we will do a quick reaction after the event, and then I'll do a full one on Monday. Have a great weekend.